Hey, what's up, tourists? I'm back in the bunker, man. Yep, I know what you're thinking. What the fuck is he going to be talking about now? That he needs to be back in the bunker. It's a very delicate subject. They were afraid I was going to get some death threats and other stuff because that's what I'm talking about, man. It's some scary shit. Yeah, I know, but I do it for you guys because I care and because I'm not going to not tell the truth. I'm spitting out truth bombs. You know, I'm spitting fire for you, baby. That's right. No, seriously, I'm going to be talking about the hygiene in Morocco, which is fucking disgusting. Awful. Awful by far the most disgusting place I've been. And I've been to third world countries, and this place makes it all pale in comparison. Morocco is fucking disgusting, hygiene-wise, and I'll tell you why coming up in just a second. But before we do, as always, got a few sponsors coming your way. I might have a beautiful title card. You never know what you're going to get with me. Maybe I'll switch the order and put the title card first, then the advertisements. How about that? We'll see. I don't even know yet because I'm taping it now. Maybe I'll change my mind later. Maybe just go straight bareback right into my fucking thing. Who knows? Anyway, I'll talk to you in a minute.
Today's show is brought to you by Bag-O Cake. Buy yourself a Bag-O Cake. It's time you took yourself a break. Grab the bag and grab a spoon. A delicious treat at night or noon. Bag-O Cake. Apply directly to the face hole. And favorite board game of kids of all ages by Pulaski, Pick Your Nose. You know the old saying, you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. Well, now you can with the fun game, Pick Your Nose. You can pick your friend's nose. And so you've decided to adopt a hellhound, a Chihuahua owner's guide. What? No, seriously, they are the worst. Have you ever been around a Chihuahua? No? Well, guess what? They are literal hellhounds, man. They are the only dog that's ever bit me. Yeah, and you know, and pit bulls get all the rap. But seriously, Chihuahuas are little balls of fucking anger and skin and bones and teeth. And no, I don't care who it pisses off. Just listen to me for a sec. No, fuck it, I don't care. Just, no, I will not read this. Wait, fine. Fuck, give me this. The opinion of the announcer does not reflect the opinion of Bag-O Cake or Pick Your Nose. Okay, fine, whatever. There, are you happy? Can we just get the title card up and start this damn show already?
All right, we're back. What did I choose? I don't even know. What did I decide? You guys know before I do. How about that? I don't know how that works. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about hygiene in fucking Morocco. As I mentioned already a bunch of times, it's disgusting. And let's start off with the fucking bathroom situation there. You'll hear a little bit about this if you check out other videos before you go, but let's get something straight right off the bat. They don't put toilet paper in the bathrooms, okay? They don't. You have to literally carry your own toilet paper. There are going to be a few places that will have toilet paper, but you're gonna have to pay for it. And in a lot of cases, you have to pay just to use the bathrooms. Almost every case, you have to pay to use the bathroom. And it is not fun. In some of these cases, they do have holes in the ground you have to piss into. Fucking lying. Look at, right, I'm gonna, right here. Look at that. Fucking, my line? That's a hole in the ground that you have to piss into right there. This was in Chef Shawan, but they're all over the place. They fucking Morocco's gross, man. I know other places do it too, but fuck. And by the way, that is also in the women's room. I don't know if you can see it, but there's these fucking foot places to put your foot right over the hole. I think it's for the woman to line up. It's fucking awful, man. It's gross. Oh shit. Just thinking about it now, man. So yeah. All right. So sorry. When I was in. All right. So let's get this straight. If you're going into any location, any place around Morocco, if you're going into a decent restaurant, you're not going to have to pay. You will be able to use the bathroom there, which is cool. They may or may not have toilet paper. My gut tells me it depends on how nice the restaurant is. They legitimately might not have toilet paper in some of these places. Bring your own. Bring your own. Trust me, you're going to need it. Also bring like hand wipes and antibacterial soap. So yeah, you might not need to have to pay if you're in a restaurant. Other than that, you're going to have to pay. And that can be a problem. Because the Moroccan dirham comes in coins up to a certain point, then they go to dollars. I think it's 20 dirham, I think is the bottom limit, or it might be 10 dirham, which is $1, $2, but the rest is all in coins. So you, if you don't have the coins on you, the low end coins, you might be paying quite a lot of money, just relatively speaking, just to use the bathroom. And some of these places will withhold the toilet paper unless you pay. Some places don't actually have toilet paper at all, and so it can be an issue. So let's start with that. It's gross. It's not fun, and have to search around for places is a pain in the ass. So obviously the tip here is, if you, wherever you are, if you find a decent restaurant and you have to go to the bathroom, maybe you stop in and say, oh, I'd like to take a look at the menu, and then be like, oh, can I use the bathroom first? And then come back out and be like, you know what, I changed my mind. I mean, seriously, in your situation, you might have no choice. So consider doing that. So let's start off with that. Bathrooms. All right, next let's talk about hygiene in general. All right, let's talk about street vendor hygiene. There is none. There's just none. There's no rules, regulations, or laws for street vendors. They can literally do whatever they want. This is the same in every location. Obviously, as I mentioned, Marrakesh, as I fucking can't stand that place, was the worst. Fez wasn't that bad. Wasn't as bad as Marrakesh, I should say. And Rabat, same thing. Wasn't as bad as Marrakesh, but nothing is as bad as Marrakesh. I think people in Hella, like, at least I'm not in Marrakesh. Yeah, I fucking don't like Marrakesh. And I was all excited about it too. I was like, fucking Indiana Jones, baby. I'm gonna go out there, there's gonna be monkeys stealing dates and shit and have wild adventures. And I was like, get me the fuck out of here. I stayed 4 days there instead of 3 days, because I gave myself an extra day there. And we were like, fuck, we should have stayed 4 days in Fez and 3 days in Marrakesh. It's not fun. So where was I besides the fact I don't like Marrakesh? The street vendors, there's no hygiene. There's none. There's no standards. So basically, what does that mean? That means that literally they use their hands for everything. And you think, oh, maybe they use gloves. They don't use gloves. They pick up everything with their hands. Cash, hands. If they hand you something food-wise, they hand it with your hands. They don't use tongs. They hand it with their hands. If they are breaking up something, like we got this candy, and it was like bricks of candy with different colors and different flavors, which was really good. Some of it like melted in your mouth. It was so good. But you have to buy it by weight, and you just say, okay, so I'll have X amount of this and X amount of that, and they just chop it up with their hands and just give it to you in a, put it in a bag, and then they hand it to you. But it's like they're using their hands to do all that shit. So things like making your sandwiches or any of that other stuff, like food preparation, they can literally drop shit on the ground. They don't give a shit, and they'll just pick it right back up, put it back on the grill, or hand it to you or whatever. With food preparation, sandwiches and stuff like that, at least you have like a napkin or something they put under the bread. I guess that's something. There is, it's just a mess, and there's no one to regulate it, so they do whatever they want, and it's very apparent. So I'm gonna give you guys a absolutely fucking disgusting example, and I swear to God this happened. We were at one of these places that sold spices and things like oils and not honey, but like different syrupy liquids you could eat. That's the best way I can put it. So the guy asked us if we wanted to try something. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, we'll give it a try. He took the item, removed the cap, brand new, I can't remember what it was for the life of me. Just call it honey for the sake of this fucking discussion here. He had this little spoon, and I didn't see where he got it from, but now I kind of question whether he actually had a brand new one or not. He took it, he dipped it right in the brand new honey, and then gave it to my girlfriend at the time, who tried it. They took the same spoon, put it back into the brand new jar of honey, and gave it to me to sample. Now, I don't know if that spoon was used before or not, but again, now I question whether it was, but that was a quote brand new bottle. And then he sealed it up and put it right back on for sale. So, yeah, that gives you an idea of how fucking disgusting it is there. So you go in, the next person goes in and goes, I'll have that bottle. It looks like he resealed it or whatever, and it looks like it's good, but he actually let 2 different people use it, and ugh. So there's just no regulation, and it becomes obvious after a little while. All right, let's talk about meat. There are flies everywhere. They have meat, fish, everything just about out, chicken, and camels. And they are out in chunked form. They're out in, their guts are out, their fucking heads are out. I have a picture I'll put up, and I'm sorry, but that's a camel head right there. And this here, those are camel toes. Camel toes, literal. So these things just lie around in the sun all day long, man, all day long. And you see flies coming and going and coming and going. And the people just come and buy it and eat it and cook it, bring it home, cook it and eat it. The vegetables are lying out all day in the sun. Everything is lying all day in the sun, and there's no regulation. There's no taking care of it. They use their hands. Again, that's another thing, man. They will chop your meat with their hands, the same hands that they use to fucking hand you the sandwich and the bread, and the same hands that they use to collect the money. And there's no gloves involved in any of that. So that's, I mean, I'm sure this is like this in other countries as well, like impoverished countries, but man, is it fucking awful. Just awful. And especially with some of the meat that they're cooking up, like they're cooking up like the entrails and the livers and stuff like that, and that stuff might not be cooked properly. They just don't care. So yeah, it was just not a good thing. So I definitely got sick. I'm pretty sure I know what it was, because I got sick right after that. But I was getting a street pita full of chicken and sausage, and they chopped it all up, put it on the grill, and I just started eating it. For like $2, I got this huge one that was so big it had like a second part to it. And then I started eating it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I kind of looked into it, and I showed the girl I was with, and it was like uncooked in parts of it. Like right like the next day or whatever, I got pretty sick. So I'm quite sure that's what it was from. So again, it's just something you got to keep in mind. These places, there's no standards and there's no hygiene. There's no one to take care of this thing. There's no like regulations. There's no licensing board. And it's obvious. I mean, do you want to know what it takes to become a vendor in Marrakesh, for example? All you have to do, the poorest person in the world can become a vendor. You can literally save up some money, buy some cigarettes, a pack of cigarettes, and sell them loose, or buy a box of cigarettes and sell one pack at a time. You see this all the time. And they'll just sit there and take like mats, and they'll sit on the ground and sell this stuff. Anything they can get a hold of. Maybe a friend of them gave them a bunch of like root vegetables or whatever, it doesn't matter. And they'll just sit there and they'll get a mat, put it on the ground, and sell it off the ground. That's all it takes to become a vendor. And I think I figured out the levels, and I mentioned this in another video, but street vendors go from mat on the ground to some kind of a cart system. When they have enough money saved up, they have some kind of a cart that they wheel around, to like a bigger, more established cart. Then from there it becomes they are able to rent a space in the Medina, like an actual location. And that's not like necessarily a sturdy thing, but it's just like a location. Then they're able to rent a storefront. And that's like when they're in the big leagues, the storefronts are actually the big league vendors there. But it's just about how much money you have. So anyone can be a vendor. There's no licensing. And if there is, I don't know who they would give it to, the money to, because there's just, and who inspects these things, there's just no one. So yeah, the hygiene in Morocco is awful. They should sing a song about it before you go. And yeah, a lot of my hatred of Morocco is geared towards Marrakesh in particular, but this isn't a general thing. Chef Shaman, not so bad. Chef Chouan, because it's an extreme tourist destination, the only people going there are rich people. It's the Blue City, it's an Instagram city, and it's become so famous that it's become basically a tourist destination for people all around. They come basically in from the port over Spain and Tangier, and then they come down to Chef Chouan because it's not too far. And so the hygiene there is not bad. And I had some amazing food there at one of the restaurants there. I think they do actually pay attention to that stuff in Chef Chouan. So big asterisk and side note to this whole thing. I didn't notice it anywhere else. But I'd say in the order of cleanliness, it went Chef Chouan, Rabat, Fez, and then Marrakesh at the very, 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 below the bottom. So yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap this up by saying, especially in Fez, it might behoove you to get a tour guide type person. There are legitimate people. Make sure you go to the right ones that will take you around the Medina. It is super important in Fez. You have to get one there. But if you do decide to go to Medinas, which that's one of the reasons why you go to Morocco, they might be able to steer you to better places that have higher health standards. I think one of our guys, when we were in Fez, took us around the marketplace. I didn't get sick when I was there, and I think one of the reasons why is he took us around and helped guide us to, I think, some better places. And you might maybe want to mention that to them. If you're going to go anywhere, it does cost some money to do it. They're not necessarily cheap, but it could be worth it because the end result might be you getting super sick. Just talk to them ahead of time and say, I need to go to places that are healthy and don't have really bad hygiene. They might be able to help you out. So yeah, that's my last piece of advice as far as that stuff goes. And as always, and I mentioned this in another video, before you go to Morocco, before you go anywhere, but before you go to Morocco in particular, pack medicine, pack stuff for your stomach, pack stuff for when if you're gonna get sick, think of all the things that could go wrong and all the areas that it could exit your body because it will happen to you, especially if you get food poisoning. So bring this stuff with you to help prepare yourself in case it does happen. You do not want to have this happen in the middle of the night or while you're walking around and stuff like that and not have the stuff necessary. It's also pretty expensive to buy medicine in a lot of these places. So prepare ahead of time just to be safe. All right, that's it. I mean, if you are planning a trip to Morocco, I would be more than happy to have a longer conversation with you in person. I would be thrilled to. This is just my opinion. And if you're going to go and check out other videos, people have very different opinions on Morocco. I had nothing but good reviews on the places that I went to see as far as videos went. My experience definitely was different, as you can tell. But I'd be happy to give you my experience and have a conversation with you about some do's and don'ts in a little bit more detail if you want. Maybe recommend a few things. Anyway, I've been Drake. I am that big bearded American tourist. And thank you for listening to my food hygiene rant about Morocco, and be safe. See you on the other side.